welcome to Everything Co-op, bringing you information on how cooperatives can help improve your quality of life. This show is being sponsored by the National Co-op Bank, NCB. The NCB is dedicated to strengthening communities nationwide for the delivery of banking and financial services for the nation's cooperatives, their members, and other socially responsible organizations. For more information on the power of community ownership, visit ncb.coop. That's ncb.coop. Now stay tuned for your host, Vernon Oakes.
Good morning, everybody. This is Vernon Oakes, and welcome to Everything Cooperative on this beautiful Thursday morning. You know, we had a great dinner last night at the Heroes, the Cooperative Heroes. And ROC USA was key center last night. So we have some folks from ROC USA in the studio with us this morning. They're from all over the U.S., and right now in studio, we had Natividad Seafed, Colleen Preston, and Lois Paris. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
So let's start off with, how did ROC USA get started? Natividad, you want to answer that one?
For the association.
Yes.
In 2012, it was an idea that got kicked around, and Lois and I decided we'd jump on board with the question about how would you guys like to be an association to connect leaders nationwide together to have us a voice on the ROC USA board. And we said, okay, sure. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, of course, right, Lois?
Right.
So, Lois, why don't you tell us what is ROC USA?
ROC USA is a group that started as New Hampshire Community Loan Fund, starting to get tenants to become cooperatives and own their own communities, purchase their own communities. And then it went to ROC USA from that point to go nationwide. It's been an exciting journey and has taken quite a few years, quite a few different turns.
When did it start?
Oh, well, let's see. In 1990, my group where I lived in Belmont tried to become a cooperative in 1990. So they were doing it back in then. I don't know if someone has a clearer date of that, but I'm sure it has, because we were, in the year 2000, the 44th cooperative in New Hampshire.
Okay, now you say tenants can buy their units. So,
exactly.
Colleen, what kind of tenants are we talking about?
In our particular case, we're talking about a community of over 55 residents, but ROC USA has all kinds of communities, family communities and retirement communities. So,
okay, but what's the type of housing?
Oh, manufactured housing. Manufactured housing. What we don't like the other terms that are thrown around.
Can you tell us so other people
for example,
know what
trailer park is not something that those words we never utter. Mobile home parks even, but manufactured housing. It's a wonderful resource for affordable housing. It's a great untapped inventory in the United States, and that's where we are. That's what's going on. It's a growing movement, and we're just so thrilled to be a part of it.
So when I grew up in Bluefield, West Virginia, down south from you folk, they were called trailers and trailer parks. And it was always disparagingly talked about of the people that lived in it, that I didn't like it. They talked about them almost worse than they talked about blacks. And it was really sad. I didn't hear anybody get discriminated against. But now it's manufactured homes, and they can be anything, the whole realm of manufactured homes.
Some of the newer ones are just beautiful homes. You would never know the difference. And but even the older ones, they're still homes. There is definitely a stigma attached to some of the language, and that's something we would like to really work towards eradicating, because that's part of our whole mission.
So what used to happen, I understand, for watching the videos last night, is that people had their homes on land, and they rented the land from somebody that owned the land. So they owned their own individual home, but the land was owned by somebody else. And as regentrification happened, the value of the land would go up, and then the homeowner, the person, the landlord, would sell the land, and people would be out of home. Is that kind of what was happening, or what is happening around the U.S.?
It is what's happening. I believe the rate is at 2% a year, and it's climbing.
What do you mean, 2% of what?
Of them closing or selling the parks. They in Minnesota, we just had a really big one recently, so I don't know if you want to talk about that just yet.
Real quickly, when you say Minnesota, you had a big one. What's big?
This particular community was about 126 families that were displaced due to a sale. So.
Okay. No, that's the hardship. That's worse than you're saying the terminology of what used to be called is to have a home and then not have a home.
Yes, sir.
However that is. Okay. So who would like to answer this question? How has going co-op affected rents in your resident-owned communities? Lois.
Hi. The rent in our community when we purchased the park was $280. Now it's $370. So that's $190 and change, I guess, difference, which probably amounts to about $10 a month. But, of course, these rents didn't go up right away, and it was a gradual thing. But in the meantime, a beautiful new water system with a computerized well house. When my husband and another gentleman used to take care of the water system and meet the rats down there in the little hole that was there that they had to go down and do readings. So that was enormous. And we've put in a couple of other new wells. We've done all of the roads and just recently did a street with all new water piping and new connections to the homes themselves. So when you're talking about raising rents, you're also talking about the betterment of the community, because the community owner who's out to make money is not going to do all of that without raising your rents time and time again.
Own the land, they could even raise the rent without doing anything.
Absolutely, and that was more the case than not.
Okay.
That was more the case than not.
And Lois, where are you from?
I'm from Belmont, New Hampshire.
Belmont, New Hampshire. How many homes in your community?
111 homes.
111 homes. Natividad, where are you from?
Minnesota.
How many homes?
We have space for 90.
Space for 90.
Yes, sir. We have about 78 filled right now.
Okay. And Colleen, where are you?
I'm from Massachusetts, and I'd like to give a shout-out to Cranberry Village in Massachusetts, my home away from home there. We have 280 homes, and our rent situation has been great. When we purchased our park in 2012, our rent was going up 4% a year. That was written into our lease. Since 2012, we have had two modest but very definite rent decreases. Our rent started out.
Wait a minute. You just how you had rent decreases?
Sounds amazing, doesn't it?
No, it sounds that's strange. That's unusual.
Well,
that's unheard of.
We're not making a profit. We're a non-profit organization, so we're not pocketing anything. We're just making ends meet and doing significant. This was with significant infrastructure improvements. We put in a whole lot of new septic systems, for example.
Colleen, can I believe you? You had structural improvements and rent decreases.
Yes. So that's what this is all about. We're not, the investor owners are there to make a profit, and bless them for that. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're not. We're nonprofit. So we are, in 2012, our rent was $526 a month, and today it's $510. So it's been a very, very stabilizing.
With structural improvements.
With structural improvements, definitely. And we have a very healthy bank balance as well. So it's been extremely successful.
You have healthy bank balance, structural improvements, rent decreases.
Right. There's no downside to it. It really isn't. This is just a wonderful opportunity. And if anybody living in a manufactured housing community now has this opportunity, I would say just go for it.
So I understand from the videos last night you're in, is it 27 states? Is that, I heard some
15.
Number of states. 15 states. Okay, so 27 next year.
Sounds good. Let's go for that.
Now.
And this, could I add something?
Yes, Lois.
In 7 years, our park will be completely paid for. So that'll be very nice. And will also help rents to go down at that time.
So in 7 years, your park will
Mortgage will be paid.
Okay, I live in a co-op, a 57-unit co-op in D.C. I have a one-bedroom, 680 square foot home. Okay, empty nester. I love it. I can halfway keep it clean. My rent right now is $570. The last payment on our mortgage to the National Cooperative Bank is today.
Hallelujah.
Congratulations.
And it goes to $388. Alfonso, our producer, my rent goes to $388.
Where can you
in
rent that?
Washington, D.C., right beside the metro, where you call it a gated community. There's a patio in each one of them. So it's just, co-ops work.
They do.
They do.
And for all of the reasons that you're talking about. But it's almost hard to believe, Colleen, that you have structural improvements, decreased rents, and a healthy bank balance, and you're able to save.
Yes.
Actividad.
And we plan more improvements. That's not the end of it. We have a lot of work left to be done, but, the future looks pretty bright.
Natividad?
I can't top her by decrease, but we have held our rent the same for the last 3 years. We, too, also did $1 million worth of infrastructure just a couple of years ago. You saw a picture of us standing in front of a big, giant mound of dirt.
Yeah.
That was a 10-foot hole.
That's last night in the video.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we did water, sewer, streets, lights, added fire hydrants, and more. Worked on some fencing over in Friendly. Revamped our loan and also got a grant for part of the sewer. So have money in the bank, keep the rent stable.
Okay.
And here we go. We're doing more.
We're going to have a break in a minute. And when we come back, because after the next 15 minutes, we're going to have a couple other people in that talk about their communities. But, I would really like to know, you said we do this, we do that. Who is the we? So I'm going to talk about that when we come back. And do you use the values and principles of cooperativism? And a little bit about how you use those. And if I can tell from your smile, you love your communities and your life now when you have control over it. But I'd like to talk a little bit about that to see if what I see is in fact true. These smiles when you talk about rents lower, rent stays the same, flat increases, and all of those things. And then we do it. We have a say. Who the we is that say. And you don't have a landlord. Or I'm African American. We used to have slave masters. They're almost akin to landlords. And the Bible even says that, what's that thing called? Credit is a new master. And when you have people over top of you telling you what to do and how you're going to pay and when, you have no say. And they can sell the land right up from under you. That's the sad part. And you say 2% a year. Don't do it. So we're going to take our first break. We'll be right back, and we'll ask these other questions.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450. Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOS and 95.9 FM.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Vernon Oaks. The program is Everything Cooperative, and we have 3 ladies in the studio with us this morning. We're going to break out and have 2 others come in at the next break. But they are all smiles and happy about their communities, which is a part of ROC USA. And Paul Bradley, who is the executive director and president of ROC USA, got inducted into the Co-op Hall of Fame last night for the great work that ROC USA have done. And the spinoff of ROC USA is ROC Association. What is that? Who wants to answer that for me?
Okay. Like I said, back in 2012, Paul had an idea that maybe we should have a little bit of a group pull together to be able to be a voice for all of the leaders in our ROC communities and also hold a seat on the board of directors for ROC USA. And that's how Lois and I started it and pulled that together with Paul Bradley's help. And now the following year in 2013 was the first voting. And we stayed on for our terms. and it's been going ever since and developing. And the excitement of being able to run for this now is growing as well. And it has given us a greater opportunity to say to the board of directors at ROC USA, here's what's going on the ground level within your communities with all your ROC leaders and your members, and let us help you understand us a little bit more, because they're not always there. They're not living in your communities. We are. So we give them the eyes and the ears to see us as we're working every day.
Okay, so ROC USA helps the residents buy the land and created a cooperative.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. And so once this co-op forms, we got a 90-unit co-op, 110-unit co-op, and a 280-unit co-op sitting here in front of me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you all have bylaws?
Yes, we do.
House rules?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And the members elect the board of directors?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Okay. And so is that the we you're talking about? You say we have done?
There is no I in team.
Okay. Or we. There's no I in we. So working together, working collectively, working cooperatively, you're able to do all of these improvements without necessarily raising the rent. You may raise it modestly, or Natividad stayed the same, and Colleen has had decreases from $526 to $510 a month. That's $16 a month decrease with $1 million of improvements. Some huge amount.
Probably between $500,000 and $1 million, yeah, something like that. So we do run on cooperative principles. We run it's a democratically organized one household, one vote. We have annual meetings every year to set the budget and elect members of the board. It's run by the co-op principles, and it's been quite successful.
And the ethical values, you can answer this, Lois, of they said that the cooperators believe in the ethical values of honesty, openness or transparency, openness, social responsibility, and caring for one another.
Correct. But I'd like to add a little something.
Okay.
To me, the ROC Association, whenever you hear Paul speak, you're going to hear him saying scaling. They're always looking to reach the top of the ladder, but that ladder keeps growing, and they keep meeting the demands that are needed. And the association became a product of ROC USA to give that voice to ROC USA. So whenever you hear Paul talking, you're going to hear him say we're scaling too, because it's never ending.
Well, he used a number last night, I don't remember it, of how many homes, how many associations he has.
We've converted 220 conversions, and I think that's approximately 14,000 homes across the country.
That's 14,000 families.
Yes.
That you have affected.
Right.
And if there were 4 people in a family, that'd be 56,000 people.
Yes, it's a lot of people, and again, it's a great untapped housing resource, an unsubsidized housing resource. There's no need for government intervention here. These are self-supporting co-ops.
Oh, you say no government money? No subsidies?
No subsidies.
No.
Y'all do it on your own?
Yes.
But on the other side of that is the ability as a community and owners to reach out to to USDA, because that was how we got one of our first excursions in our community for some new water pipes and our community well.
So U.S. Department of Agriculture.
I believe it was USDA. Yep. So we took out a small loan to have that done. So, and even in your own little communities, at least in New Hampshire, if there are grants even at the town level that you can qualify for, we've done that as well.
Okay.
We do this with the help of technical assistance, and I work for Cooperative Development Institute, which does a lot of technical assistance work in the New England area, and without them, it would be hard to get started. Mm-hmm. So they're with us for at least the life of the loan. So that's a great support system, and in every section of the country there's an equivalent organization like Cooperative Development Institute in New England.
Okay, so when Paul talks about scaling, and they've done about 220 homes, 64,000 people affected, do you have any sense of how many manufactured home communities there are in the U.S.? You have any sense?
A lot.
50,000.
50,000.
50,000.
50,000 is the number we're being given now. And
Just imagine that.
That's a lot.
Thank you, Mike. 50,000 manufactured homes, and you've done 220. So there's a lot of room for scaling.
There is.
Oh,
There
yes.
is.
That's like 2% maybe?
It's really a great opportunity for homeowners in these communities. It's a great opportunity for the investors that own them because they get pretty much get their price. You know, they're not. This isn't a charitable act on their part. They're selling it for a profit.
So
And on top of that, the homeowners now own their community. They own their home. So when they go to sell their home, guess what? You have some value.
yeah, you create wealth.
We have a line of people waiting to get in at this moment. I just don't have enough houses.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you're telling me by doing this, you live better, you have a voice in what is done. The members elect the board of directors. The board of directors create a budget. You decide which projects you're going to do, wells or pavement or fencing or whatever. You decide this stuff. You decide, not some landlord, some master over top of you. You decide what you do. And you can lower your rents and you can create wealth because you can sell it
Yes.
when you leave. Wow.
And they're proud. It's something to be really proud of. The people are really proud. And even when they sell their homes, we have a gentleman who's been there 42 years, just bought into a stick-built home and sold his house the same day. And they're revamping it right now because it's pretty old after 42 years. And there's just not enough housing. There's just not enough. But it's amazing.
All right, my numbers here, if they're right, was 220 of 50,000 is 0.4%. That's not even 1%. So there's a lot of room.
There are other resident-owned communities that are not ROC USA communities, but one of the beauties of this particular model is that homeowners only pay $100 to participate in this. So instead of buying a share for 20 or 30,000, which is common in this industry, they're only paying $100. ROC arranges financing that usually takes care of 110% of the cost. The extra 10% is for the necessary infrastructure improvements. So it is 110% loan, and it costs each individual homeowner $100. And that's a one-time fee, not monthly or yearly. It's $100.
Wow. Low to get in. So you create financial wealth, social wealth, so you know how to work together and you know how to work with politicians. So you get social wealth or other organizations like the U.S. Department of Ag or other like the Cooperative Development Institute, and political wealth. Are you all much involved in elections and stuff up in your states? I got two hands raised. Yeah. What about the people that live on your property?
Surprisingly, I was shocked how many people actually came to vote in our community, and I didn't care who they were voting for. I hugged them and said, I am so, so proud of you.
Yeah, what I have found on this show, whether it's in Africa or Latin America or the U.S., that folks in co-ops go out and vote because they know the principles of a democracy of one member, one vote, so people get informed and go vote. I'm the same with you. It's okay. I don't care who you vote. Well, I'm not sure that's true. Okay. But I do want folks to go out and vote. I really would appreciate that. So that's what you are doing. Any last comments before we change out from the two of you, Lois or Colleen?
I just want to say that
Colleen's community.
Sorry. Their membership fee to join their cooperative was $100. Ours was $500. But what that cooperative fee is, it's seed money when you first become a cooperative.
Yeah.
And when or if you sell your home, that money comes back to you.
Plus anything else that you make. Ladies, thank you. Colleen and Lois are going to be changed out by two others. And please don't touch the dial. We'll be right back. everybody. This is Vernon Oaks. The program is Everything Cooperative, and we have 3 folks in the studio with us this morning, and we just changed up. We have Kim and Lori this back in with Natividad. National Co-op Bank sponsors this program. NCB's mission is to support and be an advocate for America's cooperatives and their members, especially in low-income communities, by providing innovative financial and related services. So has NCB worked with ROC USA? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
I can't go any further than that.
Okay. I heard it last night. That's why I knew the answer was yes. I assume in innovative financing of these manufactured home communities. Now, are these low-income communities?
Ours is.
Yes, ours is as well.
I would say majority of them.
Lori, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah, for the most part, they're all low to moderate income. There are some that are over 55 communities that might not be categorized in that way, but 99% are low to moderate income housing.
Okay, but wait a minute. Y'all white folk, y'all don't have no low income. It's only black and Hispanics. Me and Natividad from Mexico. What are you talking about? How y'all low income? That's what I read in the paper.
That's my average life. What do you do?
We know the struggle.
Well, I told you I grew up in Bluefield, West Virginia. On the mountaintop that we grew up, it was black and whites, and we were all po. Okay, and so we all played together. So I've known that, but it's amazing what gets in the media and what's played up. So, Lori, tell us about your community. Where are you at?
Well, I'm from Kalispell, Montana.
Montana?
Yes, way out there west.
I think
Big Sky Country.
Cold and cowboys. And cowgirls.
We have color TV and
we've TV.
Yeah.
In Colorado. Okay.
Pony Express has been replaced and
with wagons or horses. Okay.
With real cars. But yeah.
How many units in your?
We have 32 units in our cooperative.
Okay.
Yeah, we became a cooperative in 2010.
Okay.
So we've had a lot of changes since then. When we became a cooperative, the previous owner, we were in luck. He was real in favor of making an opportunity for us to become a community versus some of them that are being sold out from underneath of us. We didn't have that. We didn't encounter that with our previous owner. So that was nice. And he still keeps in contact with us today and gives us kudos on our improvements and so forth. So that's really good. Like I said, we've made lots of changes since then. When we first started, we had failing sewer, and we got hooked to the city and went through that project. It took about a couple of years to get that all final and done. But we've since made some new roads. We've put up fences, all kinds of things, and it's changed us in that over the past 6 years, it took some time, but we're just now coming into people understanding what a cooperative community is.
So what motivates you to become a co-op?
To come to the co-op?
Yeah, to become a co-op in 2010.
Well, I had just personally moved in right as they were becoming a co-op. Mm-hmm. So prior to that, I don't know how the folks were feeling before that. But
okay. So, Lori, have your rents gone up, down, or sideways, or stayed the same?
No, our rent, lucky enough, we had been able to keep our rent steady for the last 6 years. We had no rent increases. So.
No rent increases.
No rent increases. In fact, when we got our sewer project completed, we were able to absorb the cost for that for each of our members and have since without adding that to the rent. So we have water, sewer, and garbage included in a $290 rent.
Y'all keep coming with these strange stories. You did all of these improvements. You got to where your stuff would go down, okay?
Yes.
Okay. And you got water. You had 33 families? 32 families, and you don't raise the rents?
Nope. No, sir.
All right. Okay. Hallelujah for co-ops.
Yes.
All right, and Kim,
You still
Mr.
like-
Kim, we got a man in the house with
yeah.
me.
the token male of the group.
Hey, where are you at? Where are you? What part of the
I'm
world?
from Goffstown, New Hampshire.
Goffstown.
Goffstown.
G-O-L-F?
Goff.
Goff.
Goffstown. Our cooperative is named Medville Cooperative. It's 301 homes. Very diverse group of folks. I'd say that probably 65%, maybe 70% fall in the category of low to moderate income. It's an over 55 community. We have folks that are retired there and vacation in Florida. They're the west side. I say that jokingly, but the great thing is that the great thing about cooperatives is that we're a community, and you wouldn't know at going to events in our community that there is such a large disparity in terms of affordable income.
Yeah, neat. And so over 55. So is it an active community over 55?
Yeah, it is a very active community. We take pride in building community. We have over 100 volunteers within the community that help to. As an example, we have a clubhouse where we have 2 nights a week. There's cribbage clubs. 1 night a week there's bingo. We put on about 30 events a year so that there's a social life there for folks that can't afford otherwise to go out on the town and enjoy what's going on. And so we do a lot of food-related activities just because that's my background, and so I kind of push that.
So are you on the board, Ken?
I am on the board. When I first moved there, I was appointed as treasurer. I subsequent was elected to president, served 6 years, termed out, took my 2 years sabbatical off, back on the board.
Okay, so you are either a glutton for punishment, or you
that's
like
part of
what
it.
you're doing.
Both.
Okay, because being on a board has been my experience. It's almost a thankless job.
It is.
And it's very rewarding.
It
right?
is rewarding, and I think it's really what you make of it. And you know, if your heart is there to help, people see that, and so there are times when it's thankless, but for the most part, I keep getting elected, so they must like me a little bit.
Okay, so how long have you all been in existence, Kim, in terms of
we became a cooperative in 2006. I moved in 2007, so it's been a while. We have
11 years.
11 years, going on 12, but it was very rough going in the beginning, but we got through that rough patch, and we're a very vibrant and financially well-maintained community.
Vibrant and well-maintained. What's
well-maintained financially, socially, community-wise, people caring for people. We have people who get to the point where they can't mow their lawn anymore, and the next-door neighbor mows the lawn for them. We have, not far from me, an elderly gentleman that he's surrounded with widows, so he has a half a dozen houses that he snow blows and mows lawns as they're needed. So it's people caring for people.
So I just looked at your web page. You have one home for $71,009, another one for $112,900, another one for $82,900. You like $900 at the end, $44,900. So it looks like these are what they used to call them, double wides.
Yeah, I hate that term. Yeah, there are single wides and double wides in the community. It just means that there's 2 houses put together that are 2 parts put together that makes them twice as wide. But they're homes. A lot of the homes have been completely redone. A lot of them, you wouldn't tell the difference between that house and any other ranch house because that's what they turn them into.
They are ranches. They look.
They're a ranch house, and they look. The ones that have been refurbished look the same as any other stick-built ranch house.
Okay. So, Lori, what motivated you to get involved in the co-op?
So, long story short, in 2008, my husband suffered a cardiac arrest and was not able to work anymore.
Sorry to hear.
And at that time, we had just purchased what you would call your dream home.
Okay.
And long story short, we ended up losing that home and having to change our life. Our life took a big 360.
Okay.
And so what we needed...
So 2008?
In 2008.
So you're right in the downturn.
Yep.
And you bought the house when? What year?
The year before, 2007.
So you paid high price, and then the market went out.
Yep.
Tanked out, so you can't get the value out of the house, and then he has a heart attack.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So neither of us could work at that time. So we ended up losing the home. And what we really, really needed was we had some retirement that we could draw from. So we needed to go somewhere where we knew this couldn't happen to us again and that we could afford to purchase outright. And so we looked all over town and we came to Green Acres and found a nice little place there and purchased it. And it had not become a co-op yet, but they were just in the process. And they told us about it, and we're like, wow, we're buying into that right now.
So this story of what happened in 07, 08 happened in Colorado as well as in Washington, D.C. or New York or Massachusetts, anywhere. The same story of folks having I bought a house in 2007, okay, in Prince George's County. And my wife's dream home wasn't mine. Hers. Phenomenal home.
Usually it is.
Okay. And she passed in 08.
I'm sorry.
And it tanked out. It lost half of the value. It went down half. Okay. Because there were some greedy folk that was making loans, mortgages. And I didn't make one of those mortgages, but it all got caught up. It didn't make any difference if you had one of those or not. So that's the other reason I like co-ops and credit unions is because most of the time people in co-ops make decisions long-term for what's best for the community, not short-term on what's best return on investment for whatever the stakeholder is. Okay, and that's why I love co-ops. So I'm glad you guys, before you all decided, before you went to Green Acres, you needed Green Acres. You needed something green. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we moved into there, and it became a co-op, and we were like, wow, this is wonderful. You know, we got some security here, and we're gung-ho because we'd always taken a lot of pride in our home, so we were gung-ho to take pride where we were at now. And it was a short time after that I was asked to be on the board as president, and I was very shy. Very, very shy. And so
I don't hear any shyness now.
Right.
I don't hear any shyness.
But I was
back then.
Scarily shy, yes.
Okay.
So I did agree to do that, and it's been great. It's 6 years I've been the president, and it's been wonderful. It's kind of for me a way of, first and foremost, it's for my family. That's first and foremost what I do it for. But other than that, I love helping. It's all about the people in the community.
We're going to take our last break. We'll be right back, and we'll continue this great conversation. Please don't touch that dial.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOL and 95.9 FM.
Information is power, and that's why WOL makes a great partner, because National Co-op Bank is sponsoring this program to give you information about cooperatives, so you have the power. That power only comes if you use the information. You've got to use the information in order to get the power. And we have Natividad, Kim, and Lori in the studio talking about the power that they get by being in cooperation with other people, caring for each other. So we got Kim is from New Hampshire, a 301 unit community, and Lori's out there in the West in Open Skies in Colorado with 32 folk. in their community from Green Acres. And Kim's is called Melville, right? Medville, M-E-D-ville. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about what is it like working together. And Kim, you talked about liking to cook. So, Lori's from Montana. Okay, I was out there. Okay, Montana. I'm sorry, Lori. When you like to cook, what kinds of things do you all do out there as far as cooking? I like to eat.
Yeah, well, one of the things that how these communities can be more successful is to create community, and creating community is creating a social atmosphere. Cooking is sort of my background, so I love to cook, so I find ways to incorporate that in community. So I do, we do half a dozen breakfasts a year on a Saturday morning. We'll do a full breakfast buffet. We charge people $7. We have 12 or 15 people in our community who are under-resourced, and we'll find a way to get them a ticket so that they can go as well. But it's not unusual to see a room full of 80 people sitting at tables of 8, just having conversation and creating community, enjoying themselves. I started last year this Friday night fish fry. I think the first one we had 40 people at, and people said, you don't have a kitchen. How are you going to cook fish? Is it going to be greasy? It can't be that good. We had 40 people sign up, and then those 40 people brought 3 people to the next one. Yeah, so we had 120. That happened to be one that Mike Bullard was at, that part of the ROC USA, and he had witnessed someone who had moved into our cooperative that morning and came that night, sitting at a table and finding 8 new friends.
All right.
7 new friends, I should say.
Yeah.
So in any case, it creates community, it creates a social atmosphere, and who doesn't like to eat?
I like this under-resourced, that term. I like that term, as opposed to poor or broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, under-resourced. And Natividad, you were talking about a playground. How did you create it? Why is that important?
Our community is very small, and the children have to play in the street since 2011. We didn't have anywhere for them to play. And NPR came out and did a great story on us, and one of the things that I had mentioned on the story was, if there was any one thing I could do before anything ever happens to me, is made sure that the children had a playground. And the next thing I know, Paul Bradley at ROC USA said, we're going to put a push button that you can donate money to nationwide, and the first $15,000 is going to Park Plaza Cooperative to purchase a playground. And we got a playground. Our community only had to, out of pocket, spend $500 more to make sure that it happened. And on August 1st, I believe it's been a year now, the children went to summer school in the morning at 8 o'clock. Shortly after, the crew showed up, and when they got off the bus, did I say a plane? They went to summer school on a bus. Okay. And when they came back at 11 o'clock and got off the bus, the playground was there. The backpacks went flying, and the children played until we had to kick them out. And they use it every day, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to us. So now we just got to find some funding to fence it off.
Okay, so just tell Paul to hit a button again.
Well, we want others to be able to enjoy the button as well.
And Lori, you said you're small, Natividad at 90, but Lori's smaller at 32. Do you all have a playground, or you have any events, social events out in Montana?
We do not have a playground. In our 32 spaces, we probably only have kids that are in 3 of them, so we really don't have very many kids in our community. Mm-hmm. But we do have a small community center that used to be an old laundry building. So we have remodeled that into a community center. And so we do the barbecue thing through the summer and stuff like that. And it's been a great place to have our meetings, and a lot easier for people to get to there. They're more willing to come when they just got to walk across the street or whatever. So that's been a real real nice thing to have in the community.
Okay, now Tivita, I think this is a question for you. How has this co-op mainstream its co-op members in ROC USA across the country? How has this been working? We're talking. We got Montana, New Hampshire, Massachusetts,
Minneapolis,
Minnesota. Oh,
yes,
okay.
Minnesota.
I got the M right. Okay. How's this been going around the country?
It's going very well. New Hampshire has the biggest amount, as they keep saying over and over, because they've been around a long time. Minnesota actually only has, I believe, 8 or 9 at this time, and 2 are in the works. And it's spread out all the way into Wisconsin area. So we're not as fortunate as New Hampshire to be so closely together in the same city area. We're the only one in the city of Minneapolis right now, and we would love to see more of that. And in Minnesota, although we're Minnesota-nice, our thought on this process of cooperative living in this particular style housing has always been a pushback for the longest time.
Pushback from whom?
Government, let's say the government.
Okay.
And now it's changing because our story's been out there, NPR's been out there, our community's been in the paper, we've been on the radio. We're constantly close with our legislator and our senator, Democrat, Republican. It doesn't even matter. We've actually had them visit our community more than once and continue to invite them on a continuous basis because we want them to see how important this is for everyone in the state. And we just recently had a very big closing that was distraught on many different levels beyond belief. And it was on TV, in the paper, and I think that really opened the eyes to everyone in the state to say, why are we doing this to people? Why are we displacing them? The affordable housing level in the manufactured home communities isn't out there enough. We need to talk about it more. We need to show it on TV more. We need change. We need laws changed. We've just managed to pass 2 bills that we'll be able to announce pretty soon, that we've been working on for months and years. Yay, Minnesota. So I think stories, radio, TV, papers, people like you letting us tell our story will help a ton.
Well, I really believe that cooperators don't tell the stories. We don't promote. And this is why this program got started, because people just don't know about the benefits of co-ops. And it is wonderful. For everything that you all have all said, Lois and Colleen and the 3 of you all in here, is the benefits. Lower the same rents for 6 years, 3 years, or lower the rents, increase your capital improvements, okay, have community fish fries, okay. But I'm curious, how did you cook them?
Outdoor fryers.
Outdoor fries. So
outdoor fryers. We have a we call a fundraising committee that puts on yard sales and craft fairs and things like that and raise money, and then they donate back to the community. They donated a couple of nice outdoor fry laters for me, so having them indoors requires a whole lot different investment. But
right.
In any case, we cook outside and dine in.
Got it. So that gets to another question of best practices. Do you all, by any chance, all of these communities use the same chart of accounts, do the same type of accounting, same type of reports, so you can see what best practices look like?
Yeah, well, the great thing about this cooperative movement is that its success is dependent on technical assistance. That we have organizations that provide technical expertise in all of these areas, so that we're similar in a lot of ways in terms of how we account for our finances and the like. So where we use different accountants and but we still have pretty much very similar chart of accounts and expenditures and saving for capital improvements and that sort of thing. So it's pretty similar in that respect.
Yeah, what I do in day is I do property management, so that's how I learned about co-ops, and that's what I've been pushing. Is if we could all get the same reports, we could see best practices. We got 30 seconds. Who has final word? What do you want to leave people with?
Thank you, Boris. You were a great Uber driver this morning. Just saying.
Okay.
And we thank you very much for having us on our show and being able to tell our stories.
Thank you, guys, for being here. Listen, everybody, live cooperatively. You can go online to ncb.coop to information, or ncba.coop to get information about co-ops. And we'll be back next Thursday. In the process, please live cooperatively, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
We got to hurry.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOS and 95.9 FM.